शादी के सीजन में संडे मॉर्निंग में आप सब लोग टाइम पे आए। आज काफी सारी शादियां हैं, तो शादी के सीजन में आप शादियों को छोड़ के आज के प्रोग्राम में आए, इसके लिए खुल के भी एक जोरदार क्लैप हो सकती है दोस्तों। तो बहुत बढ़िया, लेट्स गिव अ बिग हैंड टू योरसेल्फ फॉर द वंडरफुल पार्टिसिपेशन एंड सो विदाउट further ado, let's start today's program with a prayer with a lamp lighting.
वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा तारेषु सर्वदा
आज ये कम्युनिटी 2000 से भी ज्यादा एचआर प्रोफेशनल्स की हो चुकी है। इन जस्ट 2022 2000 से भी ज्यादा प्रोफेशनल्स की कम्युनिटी हो चुकी है एंड सबका हर इवेंट में कंट्रीब्यूशन डायरेक्ट इनडायरेक्टली बहुत शानदार रहता है एंड यू कैन बी अ ग्रेट लीडर। ये एक ऐसा टॉपिक है कि जहां पे there is always a requirement of change, there is always a requirement of do something better as a leader, जो आपने कल किया है। So एक बार क्या हुआ, एक बार एक हस्बैंड था, एक दुखी हस्बैंड एक डॉक्टर के पास जाता है और बोलते हैं, सर डॉक्टर सर एक प्रॉब्लम हुआ है। डॉक्टर ने बताया एक काम करिए, बैठिए यहाँ पे, पहले शेयर तो करिए क्या प्रॉब्लम हुआ है। देन वो बैठे हस्बैंड एंड बोले कि सर प्रॉब्लम ये है कि मेरी वाइफ को सुना ही नहीं दे रहा है। तो डॉक्टर ने बोला कोई बात नहीं, उनको यहाँ पे ले आइए आप। सो हस्बैंड बोल रहे सर यही तो प्रॉब्लम है कि वो एक्सेप्ट करने को तैयार नहीं है कि उनको सुनाई नहीं दे रहा। सो डॉक्टर बोलते हैं काम करिए, आप घर जाइए एंड चेक करिए कि उनको कितने डिस्टेंस से सुनाई नहीं दे रहा है। सो मैं आपको उनके प्रेजेंस के बिना ही मैं आपको एक डिवाइस दे सकता हूं कि जहां पे वो फ्रीक्वेंसी और उसके हिसाब से आपको सपोर्ट करेगा। सो हस्बैंड घर पे गए और दरवाजे के पास खड़े रहे और उन्हें चिल्लाया, अजी सुनती हो आज खाने में क्या बनाया है। कोई जवाब नहीं मिला। उनकी वाइफ जो थे वो किचन में थे, वो ड्राइंग रूम से थोड़ा अंदर गए, फिर से चिल्लाए, अजी सुनती हो आज खाने में क्या बनाया है। फिर से कोई जवाब नहीं मिला। हस्बैंड और डर गया, बोले तो बहुत ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम लग रहा है। किचन के पास हस्बैंड गए और किचन के पास जाके चिल्ला रहे हैं, अजी सुनती हो खाने में क्या बनाया है। तो वो जो उनकी वाइफ थी जो रोटी बना रही थी, उन्होंने बेलन उठाया, घूमी और बोलती है, ये मैं तीसरी और आखिरी बार बोल रही हूं, बैंगन की सब्जी बनाई। सो द कंसर्न इज, जब बदलाव की बात आती है, जब लीडर बनने की बात आती है, तो मैक्सिमम इंडिविजुअल से दैट सर हमें बहुत कुछ पता है एंड वी नो एवरीथिंग।
बात समझ बंदया कुछ देर ही बाकी है, रख अपनी आंखों से बादल आज हट जाएगा, चाँद तेरी आंखों में बंदया चल के आएगा। माना कि मुश्किल है सफर पर सुनो मुसाफिर हो कहीं अगर तू रुका तो मंजिल आएगी ना फिर कदम कदम मिलाए जा गगन गगन झुकाए जा रख हौसला कर फैसला तुझे वक्त बदलना है
and meeting started something around 7 o'clock. And for a patient has come 45 minutes, he's seeing patients, he comes, he excuses me. Another patient has come 45 minutes, another patient come almost till about 9:30. He was seeing patients, each one 45 minutes. Come across so many of those. So I have suggested in this book, please do get a copy, it's easily available. I have suggested in this book, it is possible for you to move from one to the other to the other. It's not, you are not born with this. Any one of us can be a visionary or a missionary. This depends upon the points you create for yourself. What points? Who are your role models? What kind of things do you read? What is it that you do? So I want to conclude here. I can go on and on. I have not covered all the books. That's not my intention. I want to go on with the original theme which now you have mentioned. You started this. There is a leader in everyone. All of us are born leaders. We have leadership talent. But we have to create those points. Sometimes our parents are good enough in creating this. Sometimes our teachers. But even if nobody has created, let us assume you had third-rate parents, third-rate teachers, everyone third-rate. But you are not third-rate. You can make yourself, because you have to discover. You have to give that time. You have to move out of that syllabus follower mentality, KRA mentality. I'm not saying don't follow KRAs. Do that. But give them only that good aspect and think beyond. Because KRAs are means to do so many great things. And you don't have to use all your 24 hours time. So there is a leadership talent, and all born talented. We have this opportunity. If you look at the lives of any of these people, these 30 people whom we have covered in this book, are people like Narayan Murthy. I still remember meeting Narayan Murthy in the year 1974, January or February. He left IIM Ahmedabad. He was a programmer in IIM Ahmedabad. He came back to meet one of my colleagues, one Professor T.V.Rao, who is no more, and others. So in the morning, they went out and had a cup of tea, and Rao introduced me to him. Since then, we just maintained relationship. Every time we say, hello, how are you, how are you? And I also say, how are you, and so on. In 1974, January, that point, you never knew Narayan Murthy is going to be that Narayan Murthy. Great kind of a person. Anyone you meet, you don't know. So there may be, I always tell people, there is an Abdul Kalam sitting next to you and Narayan Murthy within you, or Mother Teresa within you. Okay? Anything you look at it, it is inside. What do you make out from this? How do you want to, what kind of experiences you want to have for yourself which can draw out this Narayan Murthy, Abdul Kalam, or any great missionary in you? Depends on you. We unconsciously limit our experiences by choosing what we constantly need to. Do the same KRA time and again. Right? So these 30 leaders will give you some very interesting examples. They're not satisfied. Like I think when you listen to Saurabh, I'm sure Saurabh will tell you how wherever he walked, how he was all the time wanting to be. We have to deal with unions, how we manage unions. We have to deal with top level people, how we manage. I still remember Saurabh. I don't know if you remember or not. When you were explaining to me the Adani Infrastructure Institute, how we went to China, chose each furniture, chose the entire kind of a design. I think the Adani Infrastructure Institute depends on, he did say, I am HR manager, I am advisor, this is not my job to go and look at the furniture. But I think when you select furniture, you are building an institution. You are not selecting furniture. That is the way you look at it. So I think all of us, stories from these leaders, if we can learn from these and create these new points, we can get the best out of us. And that is HRD. And the last message I would say is, if you are given God-given gift, you are called anything like a HR manager, L&D manager, talent manager, whatever title your company has given you, this is a God-given gift. Your job is to stimulate people, so many people, to discover their points and enlighten them and kindle their leadership talent. That is our job. Like, ma'am, I can't expect anything better than somebody publicly acknowledging, sir, do you remember that one thing that you have said changed my life? Many people read my HRD missionary and say, sir, I am today in HR because of your book and so on. I mean, that's a great thing. So what an opportunity all of us have. If you are a designated HR manager, God has given you this job to work with people. So kindle the leadership talent in them. So if people are able to acknowledge because of you, you are not the only one. I don't want to be under any illusion that I have a role in whatever you have become. Whatever you have become, you have become. It is up to you. It depended on how seriously you took it and what you did it. So we are the owners of our leadership. But as HR people, you can kindle this leadership kind of a thought. That is what I think I try to talk in all my books. I carry this kind of philosophy with today. I want to thank you for all your patient listening. I can go on and on like that.
Now, I met when this event was taking place and when Hiren Bhai said that you handle the in-between process, and I agreed to that. He said Saurabh Bhai, so he gave me his number and all that. Of course, I had met Saurabh Bhai. If you remember, sir, Mr. Parimal Gandhi, late Parimal Gandhi, Parimal Bhai was the one who introduced me to you. We had come to your residence and we had gone to that basement of your apartment and we had a meeting there. I still remember that, and when I call him up, sir, I'm Nanda Dave and I'm going to facilitate this, and he says, Nanda, I know you, I remember you, you had been working with LMB and we have met a couple of times. And that was not only amazing but shocking, also pleasant, shocking, that how do you remember people, how do you remember what conversations and what connections and what reference you had when people met you. So Saurabh Bhai, I think this quality done by Bhavin Bhai yourself. So I will take care of that announcement. Please come, sir. Bhavin Bhai and a gift from Mayur God. So please come forward. Jigar Shah, yes. Jigar Shah, Bhavin Bhai.
huge crowd gives you creeps, like it's giving right. Now, after 10, 15 days, somebody asked me, forced me to go back to study, get a master's. So I came here back to university and went to my professor in physics. I had very good relations with professors. I didn't waste my time. I did some lot of social work and did organize some musical teams were coming, and Hindi was the language that was being encouraged. So I was supposed to speak in Hindi on a topic called Choti Bachat Yojana. I don't know how many of you even would know about it, because only people of my age group probably would remember it. But so my father was a banker, so he wrote it out in Hindi and he said, "You speak in front of a mirror." And I did that. And I went and I was supposed to speak for. So then I couldn't stop myself. So I said, "Madam, I got my A grade." So she said, "Yeah, I know, I signed it." No? So I said, "Sir, ma'am, aren't you happy?" "No, I'm not happy because two others got the same marks. You should be the number one." So now what happens? So I went back and strategizing for achievement comes in now, what Professor Rao was saying. So how do you strategize to get the first rank? So there are a lot of subjects, but two subjects were being taken by people whom the students found very difficult to manage. One was abnormal psychology, and the other was a topic of community social work. Now, abnormal psychology by itself is difficult, and if it is taught by a professor who's come from America, who demands quite a lot, Mr. Majmundar Sahab, that is a very big task. So, what he gives as an option is you have an option: appear for the exam or do an assignment at home. All my senior students said, "Don't do the assignment. Nobody has got more than C grade in the assignment." And he got me registered in the library, took me to a toddler's corner, and he said, "Pick those two books." Now, I have been a voracious Gujarati reader, and I wanted to read all big books, and this guy is taking me to that level. Like somebody telling me at the age of 13, "Adukyo dadukyo vacho." And the books that he was pointing to were of that level. And I said, "Why do I have to do this? I am a big boy." "Yeah, you are a big boy, but as far as reading English is concerned, this is where you are. So start from the naughty books." And that is how I started. At that age of 13, it is very difficult to come to terms with doing something from this lower level. So it does make it a changing point in your life. And from a talkative boy, you become somebody who is very quiet, very, very quiet in class because you have no option. And a lot of people were punished by making them sit next to me, because then, there was no communication. So these were the kind of things that happened. Now, English was a major topic, and literature was something that you had to learn, because without that you can't pass. So what do you do with literature? So there was a brother who said, your subconscious works at night. So take this long playing record and listen to it every night when you go to sleep, and you will remember. And I said, there's no harm in trying. And those who listen to poets remember that, they can quote verbatim quite a lot of things. And similarly, in English literature, when you come to give the exams, you have to quote quite a lot from what you have read. And Julius Caesar was one of the textbooks that we had. And we had to read quite a lot from there and be able to reproduce. And this morning I was wondering whether I remember, because it's been many, many years. The subconscious is so very powerful that the question that will always come if you are in Julius Caesar is the talk that Mark Antony gives at that time. And I do remember quite a lot of it. I'm not going to bore you, but friends, Romans and countrymen, please lend me your ears. I have come to bury Caesar, not to praise him, and then it goes on and on. I still remember, I must have studied this in 1961. So it remains in your mind no matter what happens. Okay, cutting to coming to India and getting into college. I did well in senior Cambridge by 4 years, achieved and got the first prize. Now, no, hang on. That's not important. At the age of whatever, 9 or 10, that has no meaning. You are too small to understand what you have done. So you go back to school and the headmaster says, "Oh, you have done a wonderful job. This is the first time in the history of the school this has happened. What do you want?" Now, how do you decide what you want at that age? So I blur out, I said, "Give everybody a holiday." So he looks at me and he says, "Why do you ask that?" I said, "Look, Gandhiji's birthday, everybody's holiday. So I've done something great, everybody holiday." So that happened for the first time to me, where I felt very proud that because of me, the first prize didn't matter to me. Because of me, the school got a holiday. Everybody who is in my class got a holiday. Now, 2 3 years went like this, and I was doing well. Those were days where, in Gujarati you have mukti, so you work well during the year and you don't have to appear for final exams. And that's how I passed and did well. Then Papa got transferred to Fiji Islands. How many of you know where Fiji is? Yeah, only 2 or 3 people? More. Well, it's in a god-forsaken place. So far from here that you had to change 3 planes to reach there. And so he went there and he started Bank of Baroda there. And I had to be admitted into an English medium school in class 9. And I had never learned, except for ABCD, anything else in English. I've always been talkative, but I went to that school and my father told me, you behave when he asks you a question, answer properly. I don't know what I did, but when I came home, I got a big scolding that you said the exact wrong things when you were supposed to say the right things and the other way around. Anyway, because I am a big man in Fiji, you got admission. Now you have to work every day. Somebody is going to come here and teach you English because you have to learn English. The rest of it doesn't matter. So the first Saturday, Mr. Hari Ram, he is an Indian who got qualified in Delhi University, so he could speak a little Hindi, which I could understand, came to me and he said, "Get in the car," and he took me to the library and got me registered in the library, took me to a toddler's corner and he said, "Pick those 2 books."
Important. He is from our own faculty of social work. Most of the people who are sitting here, they are the pass out of MSW or MHRM from the faculty of social work or maybe diploma in IRTA. Quite a lot of us know that he is from faculty of social work and he is a gold medalist and he did his MBA from University of Liverpool. And of course, it was a specialization on personal management. Perhaps Dr. T.V.Rao's concept of HR at that time did not reach, right? It didn't exist. Otherwise,
Thank you, sir. Thank you. All yours, sir.
Can I use the when you think about Siberia, what comes to your mind? To me, the bears come to my mind. Bears who hibernate for 6-8 months in a year and then they wake up. I went into hibernation in 2016 when I retired. And
first question, there are different kinds of questions. these are futuristic questions. So I have divided the questions also into their types. So these are some of the futuristic questions which I take first. What are, can we please give it to Saurabh? What are some of the challenges of HR industries in the next 10 years?
I don't know whether I am the right person to answer that. Since last 6 years I have been in evaluation. But from whatever reading I am doing and whatever I am seeing in the US, this work from home phenomenon hopefully is not going to last. Though a lot of people in the US believe otherwise, I think this anonymity of working in a tie without anything at the bottom is not a good style of working, and it will not last long. Having said that, all the mundane aspects of the inverted commas personal management will be mechanized. They already are by and large. I don't know whether you remember there was a film many years back. I don't remember the person who was acting in it. It was an Englishman. But he had a watch, and that watch would do this ticking and come up with a name based on an intelligence report that the robot had, which will tell him that for my next mission, these are the guys who are going to come. And that thing is now a reality. I don't know how many of you still go through biodata. Not many. Because everything is done by the artificial intelligence and you are given plate to work in. So what will be your role as an HR professional is to be able to, I don't know whether you have been having this feeling when you work in companies that everybody other than you is an HR expert. They all tell you, okay, kya hai? The reason why they can tell you all that is because you don't know about their finance job or you don't know about their technical job. But they find it easy to know about HR job. Okay. Now, if you want to be continuing as a HR person, you will have to know their job, which means understand business. If you do not understand business and do not have the wherewithal to cross them, you will not exist.
Yeah, I think what Saurabh says, I agree with him. I think for me the biggest challenge is HR is going to become boundaryless, no boundaries. It will be a challenge. And maybe the identity will get lost. And that is the best thing that will happen. If you can really, you cease to be HR manager because everyone is his own or her own HR manager. It should have. Second is managing technology and retaining humanness. I think it's going to be a big challenge. Okay, ma'am? I think there are so many varieties.
Sure. We have another question from not the audience but the people who asked questions previously. What are the important things as an HR should make a part of his or her routine? What are the important things that HR should make it as a part of its routine, whether it's a man or a woman, but somebody working in HR? So what are the things that they should take in their routines?
First, read books, read literature, listen to videos and stories of good people. There is so much available today, phenomenal amount of knowledge. So knowledge, continuous knowledge acquisition. Second is reflect. Just not read, think about it. Reflect. Third is act. You should be acting on your own. There is no point only reading and assimilating, not doing anything. So it is both thought
And act. Right, sir. I think very well said in a very short time, sir. helpful. The next question is, what is the next to facilitate this in OD?
I think I have always debated with myself what is organization development. There are a plethora of definitions of it. Anything which is small but eventually becomes big and delivers, that process is organization development. Whether HR does it or business itself does it, there are two organizations which will go in the same way. One is more profitable than the other. Why? It's a debatable point. But mostly you will find the difference is in the people in them. Now this is not going to change. So how it will happen, whether there will be a formal HR department which does that, or each manager becomes eventually a HR manager, which will be the best thing that will be possible. Whichever way it happens, organizations will develop and become better because of the people who manage the organization.
Very well said. I've got two questions and they almost mean the same. So I'm reading both the questions. Advice for students to kick off their professional journey. Advice for students about kicking off their professional journey. And another question is how to approach completely new tasks with no prior experience and complete it. There are two people.
I'll answer. I'll again draw your attention to this book. There are many examples of HR managers when they were young, when they started. They were given very routine jobs. And how they got so much meaning out of the routine job. Suppose you are asked to maintain attendance of people. You think, array, what? It's a routine job. But one of the leaders says that that is the best way he came to know about the entire employees in the company. So my suggestion for the youngsters will be whatever job is available to you, don't only look at the routine part of it, look at the opportunity part of it. You can convert anything into a great opportunity. And that is what all these are done. And that is what Saurabh, in all the story, if you look at it, how he is converting into everything into an opportunity. Like when he was asked to recruit people, I think in the book he didn't mention it, how he went and parked himself in the front of Madura refineries to pick up IOCL people, interview people and then recruit them and so on. Although 50% didn't join. He said, I think everything is an opportunity. That's the way you look at it. Routines are an opportunity. And that will be the biggest advice I can give. And I will also say, please do. I think it's a very interesting example. I didn't know about this. I don't think we have written about this. Gautam Bhai and you sharing the room and then he's saying. So I think there is a big lesson there. Respect for elders is not just the respect. I think many of our elders have something which they have acquired, howsoever you may feel about them. You may think that they are useless. We have made it very big at the age of 25 or 30 and things of that kind. But remember, I think they are the people who have built. I think have respect for the knowledge and wisdom that is available to you. You do something on your own, but I think that's a very important lesson. Somebody like Gautam Bhai, even the other day there was a LinkedIn post. I don't know how many of you follow LinkedIn. Somebody in New York mentioned about this quality of Gautam Bhai. In LinkedIn, if you go through, somebody said that I never dreamt in my life I'll meet a billionaire. And then he is walking with us, talking with us like anyone else in an ordinary way and so on. I think that is the egoless kind of a thing. What should we do?
Very well said. This question that I am holding in my hand, this person has already asked this question. Is HR a cost center or profit center? And if it is profit center, how? The question here is how can say is HR is not a cost center but a profit center. That too when you enforce them as employee champion and not as employer champion? So this is the question.
I have a one-line answer. HR can never be a cost center or a profit center. If any, it is a development center. Development is for the future. It is beyond profit. It's more than profit. It is HR people who make it a cost center. It's not HR. It is some HR people unfortunately make HR a cost center. HR is always a futuristic development center, and I think we want to attach the term profit to it. Profit. I think it's the future for everyone. That's the way I look.
An interesting question is coming. Is engagement activity effective to sustain employees?
I think I'll illustrate rather than give a theoretical example. There was a horticulturist we had in Mundra, highly qualified from Holland, Israel. He came with a resignation to me. I said, why do you want to leave? काम नहीं है. I said, what do you mean काम नहीं है? मुंद्रा में है, so much of work, काम नहीं है. Nobody is giving me work. So I said, okay, so what is the last time you did something which you were very unhappy with? So he said, I wanted to make a nursery because I am buying plants at 45 rupees by the thousands. Because when a road is made, the middle of the road has to be planted with bougainvillea. So I wanted to make a nursery. So I said, I'll give you enough work that you will cry, but don't leave. No, I will not cry. And he is not crying. So I went and looked at a Bavalia. And I said, is this good enough? He said, I'll make it good enough. I said, you are Israel qualified. पानी तो है नहीं उधर, तो तुम इधर करो कुछ. And that is the biggest nursery of Gujarat today. And about 170 square kilometers of greenery in Mundra is because of that nursery. So I hope that enabling people is the way of making sure that they are with.
Sir, there is a question which has come before and which has been repeated. This is by Archana Mishra, and I think the same question is repeated here. Stress is always a concern. So how do you see the effects of stress on employees' productivity in pre and post-COVID period? And how can one overcome that?
I don't know, it's a little difficult question to answer. I don't know, experiences may be varied, but I think there are more reasons to believe that post-COVID, because of work from anywhere, trust issues are going up. Like this entire concept of moonlighting, I think has created more suspicion on employees. Maybe a few people have done that, but I think this has created quite a bit of everyone now suspects, which is not good in the future, because I think entire engagement and respect for human being is based on trust. So while I don't want to conclude it, I would like to believe the trust should go up, but I don't know if it is really happening. I mean, this is just a hope. But this trust is an issue, and we are under more threat. And also, this also need to look at in the general social, political, economic environment. There are good things happening, there are not so good things happening.
Okay. I can take not more than 2 questions. I've got some more slips, but this question had come before. Why every time HR has to prove itself?
I don't think it's limited to HR. if certain HR nobody has to prove ourselves, then what are KRAs that we are making? KRAs are only for HR. Most difficult for HR, so we end up not making them because nobody else knows.
Yeah, HR, why reason why you are asking that question is HR is more in the public eye, in the eye of everyone, because everything that you do, whether it is by a finance manager or by a marketing manager or anyone else, I think HR, because it is related to human. I don't want to say therefore it's a question to the profession. It is question to human beings.
Human beings.
Every human being has to prove. The CEO has to prove. The finance guy has to prove. But prove means it is the way you manage your people. This is where you have to prove. Not only HR profession. Certainly there is an extra demand on HR profession because by virtue of the fact that you are a HR professional, I think more is expected from you. You have to set an example. If you are going to help others to discover their talent, what are you doing? Now again, there is a very interesting case narrated in our book that one of these, the TISR XLRI postgraduate comes and joins as a HR officer. And one of the union members had to get some emergency need and he goes to him to ask for a loan on Provident Fund. The HR manager looks at the manual and says, now I looked at it, you are not eligible for Provident Fund. Then this man apparently said that, look, you have been educated from such a great institution. Is this what education tells you, that your job is to look at the rule book and tell me that I am not eligible? Why do we need a person from XLRI and TISRI to tell this? He said, that changed my life. The most important thing is, that changed my life. I think that is the most important. HR people have to be sensitive to the human beings. So there is no question at all. Because we are sensitive to rule books, not to human beings.
Yes. I'm sorry friends, but I'm able to take this last question only. Data-driven decision making now has become a norm. So the question is, which HR metrics do you feel are critical for people champion HR? HR metrics, yes. For people champion HR.
I would only say one thing, don't reduce a human being to a number. All matrices are nothing but attempts to reduce a human being to a number. They are good aids to take whatever decisions you want to take, but they can't be substitute to human sensitivity. So, matrices are good, you do all the analysis, but finally it is the human sensitivity that should matter. This is what I feel. I have no other questions. I think we are about 1 hour beyond
we
what.
are, that is why, I mean, she has come with a request and I am saying, please, I am not able to.
But I want to discuss that you talked about MNCs and big companies, Tata and Adani. वो चाहते हैं कि एम्प्लॉइज हमारे एसेट्स हैं, लेकिन जो हमारी छोटी छोटी कंपनी होती है उनके हिसाब से हम जो अगर एम्प्लॉय के साइड से बोलते हैं ना, तो वो बोलते हैं कि तुम प्रॉफिट, तुम एम्प्लॉइज पे ध्यान दे रहे हो, तुम प्रॉफिट पे ध्यान दो, तुम कंपनी पे ध्यान दो, कंपनी को ये करोगे तो इतना लॉस होगा। और अगर तुम एम्प्लॉय के बारे में बोलोगे तो ऐसा बोलते हैं कि तुम एम्प्लॉइज के बारे में ज़्यादा उनके साइड ज़्यादा ले रहे हो, तो उसके कोई सजेशन कर सकते तो उनको कैसे कन्विंस करें कि एम्प्लॉय इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट। तो हमें वो मेनली प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है जो हम छोटी कंपनी में वर्क कर रहे हैं।
Well, I think both points of view are right. I told you, HR managers are both savers of lives and providers of livelihood. I think it's a big challenge. It's a big challenge to, in a small company, to constantly balance the human touch with profitability. If you don't focus on this, there will be no employment. If you only focus on this, then people will not be engaged. So there is no standard answer for this. There is no standard answer. The only thing is, be aware of it And I think you have to exercise your own consciousness. First of all, have you understood the company? You need to understand the company. You need to have, understandably, the owners will work for the profits, right? And they will say that what you are saying, not to employee side ko le raha hu, hamara. So it's your job to convince, you know. Then I always compared HR manager with this role of Vidur in Mahabharata. If you know Vidur, Dhritarashtra is blind, but Vidur will keep telling Dhritarashtra all that is happening. He also gives advice, says this is not right, but Dhritarashtra will go ahead and do whatever he wants to do, or he will keep quiet when whatever is happening, like Draupadi Vastra, all those kind of things. So unfortunately, that is the choice of the CEO, and your job is to tell. Most HR managers don't have the courage to tell the CEO, sorry, if you don't take care of the employee today, tomorrow it is going to hit you. So I am working much longer term than you. You are looking at tomorrow's profit, but I am looking at 5 years from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. If you are convinced, but before that you have to be convinced. So we have to do our homework. If we do our homework, then I think there is not much of a. I don't say that there will be no problem. There will always be the issue. That is why I am saying. In fact, I have in some of my writings I said HR people should think ahead of the CEO. What does it mean? I think about it. I think it's
Give you a small tip. If you think that the employees need a particular thing and it is going to cost a lot of money to the company, therefore the CEO or whosoever says, I don't want to do it because you must look at the profit. Collect enough data to convince yourself. By doing so, you will increase the profit. And if you have the ability to show it on paper, then you will be able to bring about that change. Unless you are at that stage, no matter what size of the company, even if it is Adani or Reliance or Unilever, it will not happen. Because at the end of the day, the first priority of a company is to make profits. One of my chairmen used to say, you can distribute wealth, you can't distribute poverty. So keep that in mind. It has to be profitable.
So friends, you have been very patient. Be patient now for another 2-3 minutes. We have got a surprise for you. Those people who took the trouble of thinking, asking the questions in advance, or writing your questions and submitting to us, we have selected the best 9 questions. So I would request that those who have asked this question, and if they are present here, I am talking particularly of the 7 questions which were asked earlier. If you are here, please take the trouble of coming here and get a book, HRD Missionary, signed by Dr. T.V.Rao and Saurabh Dixit. So please come. Data-driven decision-making का question please come. हाँ sir, please. We start with you. Please tell us your name. Ranjit.
Myself, Ranjit Angwar, heading HR for Zydus Life Sciences Limited, Kolkata.
This is the first question because when you asked this question, Ranjit, this has got the best line from Dr. T.V.Rao, where he says that don't reduce people to number metrics. I think this is the best line from him with respect to HR metrics. Okay, the second one, please get ready. What are some of the challenges HR industry is likely to face? Is the person here? Her name was Drishti Sahil Vani when I got this question. question number 7 in the list, Hirenbai. And her name is Drishtitaki. Okay, if she is not there, we can go to in the list question number 8. What are the important things as HR should make a part of his or her routine? Where the answer from sir was that knowledge upgradation reflect and act. I think that was the beautiful line from Dr. T.V.Rao. Is the person here? Okay. What is the next generation HR role? Is the person here? That is question number 12 in the group.
You can take the opportunity, you know.
But that means ethics has yet not gone. Ethics people are ethical and they don't want to really just for one book. Okay, is HR a cost center or a profit center? Where I've got repeated question. Is this person here? Please, you need to tell your name, please.
Hello, good afternoon everybody and good afternoon to both the veteran stalwarts. Myself Prafulla Chandra, I am heading the Vision Products Private Limited company as a head HR.
Thank you.
I take this privilege to touch their feet. It's a part of Indian culture and tradition. Thank you.
Aruna ma'am, you are the next because your question was on stress. Aruna ma'am.
Archana.
Archana. Okay. Thank you, Archana. And the last question is, why every time HR has to prove itself? Who was it? This was the question received before we started this session. So, if the person, okay, she is there.
My name is Neha Parekh. I am Deputy Manager HR in Newgen Security. Rather than I am the committee member of SHRP, this question was because I am like in each and every job I need to prove myself being HR.
How nice. Thank you. One very important thing while we are constructing the house is cementing it properly. That not only adds value to the display of the house, but it also increases the durability of the house. Similarly, today's session, summarization in just 2 or 3 minutes, my colleague Sandeep, Mr. Sandeep Sawant has done. Okay, Rajiv, both of you are my colleagues in any way. Okay, and both of you are from National HRD. So, sir, please come here and please do this pleasant duty. Cement our learning so that we remember it for a long time. Sir,
Thank you, Hiren bhai. You provided opportunity to Saurabh bhai to come out of hibernation. And I think you gave a clue to me that first time when you were asked to participate in a competition, you finished in 2.5 minutes. I'll try to do it even shorter time because we are already late, so I won't bore you much of. Fine.
Yeah, but
Okay.
do complete semantics. That's very important.
Of course, it goes without saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I think you talked about leadership, and see, the leader in today's organization, he has got several challenges. One question also came, wherein should we side with the employee or employer? Now these are definitely the practical situations. See, saying in a boardroom or a training or what hall, it's very easy. It's very easy to say that okay, you can take this side or that side. You can always be pro-employee. There are issues everywhere. As Saurabh had also very rightly said, whether it's a large organization or a small organization, whenever we are trying to do something for the employees, of course now the scenario has changed a lot, but when we started our careers in mid-80s and all that, this was a very prominent question. So I think very rightly shared by Dr. T.V.Rao that you not only have to be an employer champion, you also have to be an employee champion, and of course you have to be a community champion. So HR person, and very nicely pointed out that we are all very lucky that way, that we have come in a profession wherein we can really do a lot of good things. So friends and colleagues, brothers and sisters, I think this is a great message Dr. T.V.Rao sir has shared with us, all of us. To be a very effective leader, we have to be very balanced. We have to see all the aspects of life, and we have to very nicely pointed out that there is a dot everywhere available, and that dot we really have to understand and pick up, and from that we have to move on. If we probably neglect that dot, probably we might lose track. One common point again with Saurabh bhai, I also had Indira Ben as my guide, but I was not fortunate to get her in the first semester. I got her in the last semester. So instead of getting A, I got B. Okay, so that's on the lighter side. Now, both the visionaries, they have made certain points very clear. There are 4 different classifications of leaders. There are some people who are only concerned and focused about what they are supposed to be doing. So they are KRA leaders, or they are the doers. So of course, everyone finally there is you can say an apprehension, as a fear or a pressure to deliver. So that is always there. So we can't really move away from this aspect. So there are times when, sir, even if we don't want, but we still have to be the doers and the KRA followers. But then we always should have a broader focus, and I think the next category or classification T.V.Rao sir mentioned about the leaders is the achievers. So definitely achievers, who doesn't like, and which organization will not like that? So one has to be an achiever also, but definitely we have to see and learn from the visionaries, and both have already stated that one has to be, being in HR, one has to be continuously reading. You have to read a lot. So I think that habit we should read, reflect, and then act. So these are some of the things which we should not forget. I'll say that every person or every leader, he has got a different ability. You see an example of, say, suppose if I talk about the T20 final India lost recently, I personally still feel that with the same team, probably, had Mahendra Singh Dhoni been the captain, I think the result could definitely have been different. Because it's a leader, how he approaches that really matters. So, sir, whatever you have shared with us today, I think both of you have worked for more than 40 years, 45 years, and out of 45 years, you might have taken 1 year for writing the book, and in just about 1 hour, you tried to convey the message. I had to do that in 2 minutes, so I think whatever I have done probably has done enough justice. That's what I feel. And with this message, I think, friends, these nuances of leadership, whatever they have shared, we can really reflect on that and start acting from here on. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Please. So now प्रोग्राम जो है बस कुछ ही मिनट्स की दूरी पे है. So जिन्होंने बहुत मेहनत किया है शानदार इस इवेंट के लिए, आज के प्रोग्राम को, और आज के लिए नहीं बट थ्रू आउट द जर्नी ऑफ SHRP जिन्होंने बहुत मेहनत की है, तो मैं कुछ 4 सुपरस्टार को बुलाना चाहूँगा स्टेज पे. स्पेशल सरप्राइज फॉर देम कि उनको स्पेशल SHRP की तरफ से रिकॉग्नाइज किया जा रहा है. उनको भी शायद नहीं पता था कि सरप्राइज है, बट लेट्स इनवाइट फर्स्ट Seema ji on the center stage, star of SHRP, because it's the 4 volunteers. Please. And requesting Dr. Rao sir, Saurabh sir, please हमारे स्टार को आपके हाथों से सुपरस्टार बना दीजिए. Thank you so much. कोई तालियां होनी चाहिए. So next है भाविका परमार जी. Bhavika Parmar ji, yes. Let's give a big hand to her. Wonderful. Congratulations, Seema ji. Bhavika is always cheerful. हमेशा अपनी मस्ती में रहते हैं. Always positive. बहुत बढ़िया. Next, we can invite Ronak Patel on the center stage, please. So Ronak Patel. Yes. Next can we have Mayur? Yes. So congratulations, Ronak. We are proud of you. We are great. We are feeling great to have you actually with us. Since long you all are giving your best. Our pillars, our executors. आई थिंक जो सर ने बताया, SHRP के लिए तो आप 4th लेवल पे आते हैं, मिशनरीज. आप लोग मिशन पे निकल चुके हैं कि बहुत सारा कंट्रीब्यूट करना है इस कम्युनिटी को, इंडस्ट्री को. थैंक यू सो मच. एंड सर, आपके हाथों से एक शुभ काम और करना है. अभी तक हमारा एक चीज़ नहीं था जो हमने ऑफिशियली जो लॉन्च कर रहे हैं, और सर ये उससे बड़ी बात क्या हो सकती है कि सर आप उसको लॉन्च करें. सो टुडे वी आर लॉन्चिंग वेबसाइट ऑफ SHRP officially. This is the first look. You can scroll a little bit. Yeah. So यहाँ पे अब काफी सारी चीजें आपको टेक्नोलॉजी ड्रिवन मिलेगी. काफी सारी चीजें आपको प्रीवियस फ्यूचर के बारे में, यहाँ पे काफी सारा डेटा, पास्ट रिकॉर्ड्स, फ्यूचर प्लान, सब कुछ मिलेगा आपको. विजन मिशन, हर एक प्रोग्राम की डिटेल्स मिलेगी. सो कुछ और स्पेशल शेयर करना चाहते हैं इसमें? गैलरी शेयर कर सकते हैं. अवर यू नो our lots of programs experience, if you can. Yeah, lots of events we did in last from 2018. कितने सारे हमने events किए हुए हैं, right? So absolutely you can go for, yes, media and lots of things. So I'm so proud to be associated with SHRP and everyone. You all did a great job. Thank you so much, everyone. Wonderful. Thank you so much. And once again, सर हमारे एक्चुअली है ना बहुत सारे, कह सकते हो आप, विजनरी मिशनरी वाले लीडर्स हैं हमारे साथ. जिसकी वजह से इतने बड़े बड़े इवेंट्स पॉसिबल हो पाते हैं. सो आई वुड लाइक टू इनवाइट as soon as possible, फटाफट आ जाइए स्टेज पे. I am just announcing the names and you all can come as fast as possible. सबसे पहले इनवाइट करते हैं SHRP की जान शान गौरव शाह. Let's give him a hand. From day one, Gaurav is with us and he is working so hard. Sure. So next is Karthik Bhatt. रेडी रहिएगा. फिर मीत शाह, फिर सीमा, फिर मेहुल. कार्तिक, मीत, सीमा, मेहुल. ग्रेट एवरीवन, ग्रेट वर्क. बहुत अच्छे से आप फ्रॉम डे वन बहुत अच्छी मेहनत कर रहे हैं. कीप वर्किंग हार्ड. वंडरफुल. देन अर्चना, भाविका, नेहा एंड रोनक पटेल. अर्चना, भाविका, नेहा एंड रौनक. अर्चना, भाविका, नेहा एंड रौनक. Then we have a next Mayur, Jaimin, Pankti. After Ronak, Mayur, Jaimin and Pankti. Absolutely. Mayur, Jaimin and Pankti.
I got it.
And Pankti, okay. We have Khadija, Dr. Ashwin Kumar Patel, Dr. Dignesh Panchasara.
थैंक यू सो मच, बहुत बढ़िया था. थैंक यू.
Then we have after Dr. Dignesh we have Chetan, Prakash, Hardik and Rajdeep. Chetan, Prakash, Hardik and Rajdeep. थोड़ी थोड़ी ताली बजा सकते हैं, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. यस एवरीवन, थोड़ा धीरे धीरे लाइटर नोट पे, एकदम थोड़ा. ओके. Volunteers, yeah, come on everyone. Great. So congratulations to all our volunteers. काफ़ी अच्छे से आप हर इवेंट में मेहनत करते हैं. और अमेजिंग बात यह है कि हर इवेंट में नए नए चेहरे भी जुड़ते हैं हमारे साथ, राइट. सो अगर आपको हमारी टीम ज्वाइन करनी है तो भी आप अपने आप को नॉमिनेट कर सकते हैं. I am adding once again, there is no single charges for nomination or anything. We are not taking any charge for any programs. So जिनको वॉलंटियर करना है तो वो अपने आप को वॉलंटियर कर सकते हैं. Great everyone. And जब भी SHRP की फ्लाइट टेक ऑफ करती है, तो उस फ्लाइट के बाहर एक बड़े अक्षरों में नाम लिखा जाता है क्राउन HR सर्विसेज. SHRP की जो फ्लाइट है वो क्राउन HR सर्विसेज की तरफ से हमेशा एकदम हर तरीके से सपोर्ट मिलता है. प्रहलाद भाई के लिए जितनी तालियां होती हैं उतनी कम है. कम ऑन एवरीवन, लेट्स गिव अ बिग हैंड टू प्रहलाद भाई. एंड मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा मीत शाह टू प्रेजेंट मोमेंटो, जैमिन, वाशु हेल्थ केयर गिफ्ट एंड डेफिनेटली डॉक्टर राव सर डेफिनेटली रहेंगे. डॉक्टर दीक्षित जी भी वहां पर रहेंगे. टीम थोड़ा ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं आप फॉर द फोटोग्राफी. टीम फोटो में आने का जितना मौका मिले उतना कम है, तो आ सकते हो.
हेलो मैडम. Fine. How about you, please? Hello, everybody.
Yes.
Hello. 1 minute.
क्या आपको पता है कि आप सब जब हॉल यहाँ पे जस्ट अभी समाप्त होगा प्रोग्राम, जब आप बाहर जाएंगे तो आपके लिए कुछ स्पेशल है, राइट. तो वो जिन्होंने मैनेज किया है, यस गिफ्ट इज पेंडिंग. प्रहलाद भाई गिफ्ट लीदा बता है.
प्रहलाद
प्रहलाद भाई के पैर में थोड़ी इंजरी हुई इसलिए थोड़ा उनका तो प्रहलाद भाई थोड़ा शर्मा रहे हैं स्टेज पे आने से। प्रहलाद भाई ऑलवेज देयर, एनी टाइम एनीवेयर। थैंक यू सो मच प्रहलाद भाई, थैंक यू सो मच। सो बाद जो आपको सरप्राइज मिलेगा वो मैनेज हुआ है बाय शशि कैटरर्स। सो शशि की तरफ से कोई है, शशि कैटरर्स की तरफ से? हाँ जी। तो वो जब तक आए तब तक आप जिनको देख रहे हैं सुबह से स्टेज पे, सो उनको मोमेंटो मिलने जाने वाला है और जितनी ताली हो सकती है उतनी कम है बिकॉज वो मेरा नाम है भाविन शाह। ठीक है, थैंक यू एवरीवन। सो मोमेंटो के लिए टीम को इनवाइट करना चाहूंगा स्टेज पे। मयूरी जादव एंड मेहुल जेठवा जी, आइए प्लीज स्टेज। थैंक यू सो मच।
Claps.
Shashi caterers are here. So please invite Shashi caterers on the stage. Let's go begin. आज की जो catering है and to conclude this session, would like to invite our favorite with a round of applause, Jigar Shahji on the center stage for 2 minutes. Thank you so much, Jigar sir, for being here. Word of thanks. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. The Dr. Rao Saab, the Dixit Saab.
Sorry.
आज की समय व्यस्तता में जो हम एनकरेज करने के लिए यहाँ पधारे, उनका तहे दिल से शुक्रगुजार SHRP टीम की ओर से हिप हुर्रे। ये जिम्मेदारी जो है, आभार भी तहे दिल से शुक्रगुजार है। वी आर रियली थैंकफुल टू नंदा दवे मैडम ऑल्सो, जो हमारे कॉल पर इमीडिएटली हाँ बोलती। थैंक यू मैडम फॉर स्पेयरिंग योर प्रेशियस टाइम वेल टू। हम शुक्रगुजार हैं भाविन शाह जी, जो हमारी टीम के ही मेंबर हैं, लेकिन इनकी व्यस्तता के बावजूद भी परसों रात को ट्रैवल कर रहे थे चेन्नई और अहमदाबाद और घूम रहे थे इधर उधर, और फिर भी आज प्रोग्राम के लिए तरह हाजिर हो गए। भाविन शाह जी, थैंक यू वेरी मच। हम शुक्रगुजार हैं क्राउन HR सर्विसेज प्रहलाद जोशी जी, जो हमेशा हमारी टीम के साथ में जुड़े रहे हैं। कभी भी कुछ भी काम है, कहीं पर अटके हुए हैं, सिर्फ आवाज दो, प्रहलाद भाई हाजिर है। तो प्रहलाद भाई, थैंक यू वेरी मच। इसके अलावा हमारी टीम के सभी मेंबर्स, यहाँ पधारे सब मेहमान और जो भी डिग्निटरीज हैं, हम भी उनके तहे दिल से शुक्रगुजार हैं। ज़्यादा वक्त न लेते हुए, अभी आने वाले दिनों में एक बहुत ही घटना घटने वाली है गुजरात के अंदर। जो हमारा लोकशाही का पर्व है, वो पर्व हम मनाने जा रहे हैं 1st and 5th दिसंबर को। सो आई रिक्वेस्ट एवरीवन, इफ इट इज पॉसिबल, टू स्टैंड अप ऑन देयर चेयर एंड टेक अ प्लेज फॉर वोटिंग प्लीज। જેવું બોલાવું છું એવું બોલજો। અમે ભારતના નાગરિકો લોકશાહી તંત્રમાં નિરંતર શ્રદ્ધા રાખીને આથી પ્રતિજ્ઞા લઈએ છીએ કે અમે અમારા દેશની લોકતાંત્રિક પરંપરાઓની અને મુક્ત, ન્યાયી તેમજ શાંતિપૂર્ણ ચૂંટણીઓની ગરિમા જાળવીશું તેમજ દરેક ચૂંટણીમાં નિર્ભયતાપૂર્વક અને ધર્મ, વંશ, જ્ઞાતિ, જાતિ, ભાષા કે અન્ય કોઈ પણ પ્રકારના પ્રલોભનથી પ્રભાવિત થયા સિવાય મતદાન કરીશું. Thank you very much. We all go and cast the vote in our respective areas and do our duty to the nation. I respect once again to Bhaviji to come on the stage for the last moment.
Thank you so much everyone for being here. National anthem. Would like to take up. Yeah. So let's conclude the session.
जनगणमन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
भारत माता की
जय
वंदे
मातरम
वंदे
मातरम.
Thank you so much once again everybody for spending your time and extremely sorry कि थोड़ा प्रोग्राम